Hey guys, so I thought I'd make another video about my Gollum Jades specifically. So you can see this one here is obviously the one that I pruned a whole lot in one of my previous videos, and it is bouncing back good. I'm going to show you guys a few close looks at the areas that I cut. So you can see right here is an area that I cut and two stems are coming from it. Same thing here. Here, for some reason, there's only one. I don't know if you can see, there's only one stem coming out, which is a little bit disappointing. But I think pretty much every other cut that I made has produced two stems in the direction of the leaves on the same node. So you can see that one there as well. So it turned out pretty good. I do wish, because like I think I had said in that video, this was supposed to be the viewing angle. So I wish that this front branch had produced two. I think it would have ended up looking better. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna let it continue to grow and do its thing. All right, so now to the cuttings from that mother plant. So in that video, I produced, I think, like 3 small-sized and 2 larger-sized ones. I gave one of the larger-sized ones to my dad, so he has it now in his little succulent arrangement. And I also gave one of my smaller ones to my sister. I think these ones you can see, like obviously these leaves are very shriveled up. They kind of sacrificially gave all their energy to produce roots and to produce the new growth on top here. I think that the bigger cuttings didn't need to do that because they had more juice and they had more energy to kind of start their growth off a little bit better, like their root growth and stuff like that. So I think another thing that's probably stunting these guys is I put them in this succulent mix soil without adding any kind of regular fertilized soil, like any normal potting soil that has a bit more kind of like nutrition for the plants. So right now they're basically just in pebbles and wood chips. So they're probably slow growing because they don't have too much juice. So I was thinking about possibly repotting these, maybe putting them in the same container for now. This guy here, I think he might be my new favorite because I'm planning on kind of viewing this guy as a new start. Originally, this was my main guy. This is the main one I was concerned with. And I wanted to make him look good. And these kind of propagations were just like a fun little bonus. And I didn't really care too much about the way they looked. But I think my original goal for this guy was to kind of have one plant that really was kind of like tree-like, had a lot of kind of trunk and cool shapes kind of showing the old woody bark. There's a few images I've seen online of really old jades with tons of these like barky branches just kind of spilling all over the place, kind of falling out of the pot. And that was kind of my goal here. But I think it's time that I kind of accepted that like these are 2 stems. I'm not gonna be able to make it look like one plant. So like I said, I might end up separating the 2. Maybe I'll keep them together and just arrange them slightly differently. But I'm no longer trying to achieve that with this guy. I think this guy, maybe it'll just be more of like an upright pear where it just kind of looks like a normal tree. I think for this guy, I want to produce as many branches as possible. I want pretty much every intersection or every node to produce more branches so I can get this kind of like really dense kind of waterfalling effect, or like I want those branches to kind of look wild and look crazy. So it might be counterintuitive to prune when your goal is to grow and make it huge. But if you look right now, both of the stems that are on here, this is one cutting, this is one plant. So there's a V all the way down there in the soil. These are connected, it's one plant. But each of those connections beyond the V are just kind of producing straight stems. Like you have this really long node here before you get to this leaf pair, another node here, a shorter node. They're just kind of getting shorter, but they're all kind of linear. Like they're not branching and making new growth. It looks like here maybe there's the start of a new branch where it's kind of gonna go off to the left, but I don't love the shape. Here it has this little branch potentially, but for the most part, there's this one strong leader that's going up just very vertically. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prune it all the way down to this first leaf pair on this side, so I can produce 2 new branches, one going to the left, one going to the right. And then same thing here, I think I'm gonna prune it to this node where there's going to be one kind of going towards the back and one going towards the side. So that's my plan for this one. I think what I'm going to do when all is said and done is I'm going to take the cuttings from this guy and these two and put them in a pot for now. I don't think that's going to be a permanent situation. I want to see like what kind of comes of it. But for now, I think keeping these little guys in these pots with pebbles and not much nutrition is not going to help them. And I need a place for these. I'm kind of running out of pots. So I think putting all 3 of those groups together kind of makes the most sense. So I'm going to go ahead and prune this guy, and then we'll see about potting up these other ones. I'll be right back. All right, so like I said, I think I'm going to prune just above these 2. I'm going to go ahead and snip a little bit above. I want to give it a little bit of space to kind of dry up. All right, I'm going to cut right there. I'm pretty pleased with how it's looking. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of leave this one. I don't think I'm gonna repot it or anything. I'm just gonna leave it in its soil. I think it's been doing well. It's pretty happy and healthy. It produced a lot of new growth since I planted it. You see all these like new little soft branches up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these and our little cuttings from last time, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm gonna start by just depotting these little guys. And I'm gonna do it right over this bigger pot. So that way all the soil that hangs off the roots and all the soil in the bottom can just go right into the pot. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to this guy. So right now, this is the soil that they were living in. It was very rocky. I'm gonna add some kind of normal potting soil to a bit of that rocky mix to kind of fill up the pot. And once I get about to maybe like this level, I'm gonna start making divots in the soil to start putting them in. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill the pot and make my little mix off camera, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I did about half of this kind of normal potting soil and half of this kind of chunky, rocky and kind of bark mix. So that's what that's looking like. I'm hoping that having a mix that is higher in regular potting soil is going to help them kind of flourish a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making those divots in the soil and start kind of positioning them how I want to in the pot. All right, so I think I'm gonna start by planting these new cuttings first and then kind of position these ones around it. Something like that. Put him in place and then kind of pack the soil in around him to keep him stable. I'm gonna actually remove these dried up leaves. I think they do fall off on their own. I think what I might do is I might just cut them. So I'm just gonna snip them like this. There you go. I cut off those old leaves. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut off these shriveled up leaves. So I'm gonna go ahead and make another divot in the pot right here. So again, I got this guy pruned, pot up the prunings. I'll see you in the next video. I think the next one's probably gonna be an update on my echeverias. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, bye.